Welcome to another episode of Searching for McGuffin with your hosts, George,
Dan,
and Link.
I wasn't sure what the order was with this lineup.
we figured it out.
We haven't had this lineup in the longest,
That's
right?
That's right.
Bro,
Yeah.
Spo's using new lineups on us.
No, that's, I think, Gabriel's the one who coordinates the lineups for this show.
No, it's not Spolstra.
No.
It's not. Or Eric.
No, it is.
Coach Gabe.
Yeah, why is it Gabe? I think he's cap, even though you're the coach, I think. Wait.
He's a producer.
He's the producer.
I am not the coach.
Is the producer the coach, or is it? I see Gabe as team captain.
No, producer is.
I'm GM.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there you go. He's Pat
there you go.
Riley.
Yeah, you're right.
He's Pat Riley.
Okay. But we're not here to talk about sports. We did that already.
We should be talking about the Miami Heat.
Almost.
They're about to win the championship.
Actually, there's a lot going on lately. Between that, Guardians, and today's topic. It's been kind of busy.
Yeah.
And there's more on the horizon. I guess summer's coming up. I guess summer's technically begun. Influx of new content. Sports coming to an end. Yeah, I guess this is the time. Today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite film, The Fast and the I'm just kidding.
Hey, you got me there.
What would you do if I just switch? Like, I have a whole outline.
If you
for
switch it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would roll with it, right?
You would
I think we could
I'd
improv
yes
the
and
entire
everything,
thing,
yeah. In fact, that should be our Fast and the Furious.
let's do it.
Just us thinking we watched the movie, right?
Yeah, because I haven't. And
Yeah, me neither.
No one has, right?
Have you,
Here?
Danny?
No. There's no way I'm
Okay.
going to watch that.
So that's what we're going to do then, right?
Wait, can we commit to this then? Can we miss it through its entire theatrical window?
Yeah.
Okay.
Avoid spoilers at all costs.
All right. Perfect. Okay,
Perfect.
so let's cue that up for next month. Let's do a Fast and the Furious episode based on completely nothing. But one thing that we have dedicated a considerable amount of time to is the newest chapter in the Legend of Zelda series, titled. I was kind of laying it up for you to say it, Link.
Oh, okay. I know.
I looked
thought
right
were
at you.
Oh, I'm looking at the camera.
Oh, okay. It's fair.
Yeah. I'm so used because Gabriel's here.
That's right.
And when Gabriel's here, he blocks you, so I
So
can't
yeah.
see you.
So
So,
now
I look at.
I'm invisible to
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So I look at the camera. I look at Danny. So I don't really see. I guess I got to be looking at you.
Now I'm looking at the camera, realize I didn't brush my hair before we started.
Okay. But yeah, okay. Let's do it again.
Let's do
Alley oop me.
Okay. So we've been playing the newest chapter in the Legend of Zelda series, titled
Tears of the Kingdom.
Nailed it. I don't know where to start with this game, which I guess is apropos.
Because no one knows where to start with this game, right?
What did you guys going into the new Legend of Zelda game riding on the curtails of the last game, Breath of the Wild? What were you expecting?
If Breath of the Wild is a 98 overall, like out of 100, I was expecting a 96.
Okay, why?
I just didn't think you could beat Breath of the Wild as a video game.
It's a hard game to follow up.
Yeah, exactly.
So my expectations were also
Yeah.
a little low.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be an A, you get me? I knew it would be in the 90s. I didn't think it could surpass Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, was I wrong.
I had heard that it was originally developed as DLC, and it just got so big that it ended up spinning off into its own game.
People were complaining about that. They're saying, "Oh, this is a DLC game," and they were protesting
Ahead of time.
Ahead of time,
Well, they shouldn't have said that,
Boy.
probably.
which made no sense because those are the same people that buy Call of Duty every year.
Are they the same
Yeah.
people?
I'm
just
gonna
assume.
I'm gonna assume.
Just
those are the
group
same
them
people.
all
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Same
anyone
people.
Oh, yeah.
on the internet who says something I don't like is the same person who
Yeah,
does all the
exactly.
other things I don't like.
Exactly. They keep on buying FIFA.
I don't think anyone
Madden.
keeps on
Madden,
buying
yeah.
FIFA anymore. That's why there's no more FIFA.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, this was the last year, I believe.
Oh, okay. Look, I don't know
No.
what it's called now.
If Gabe could have been here to
Gabe.
correct you, but no, we all just stare at this empty space in between us. Yeah, that's the reason why maybe my expectations were lowered. Breath of the Wild is amazing, and within a year, I did something that I don't usually do, and declared it as my favorite game of all time, which usually a
And
game,
that's like reasonable.
That's reasonable.
Yeah,
I can
It is
understand that.
probably one of the best games
Right.
ever made.
that's not a hot take, yet that would be a first for me. I usually wouldn't react to something that quickly. I would need it to sink in for years, see what else is coming down the pipeline. So I knew that a sequel to it would be amazing, but I thought it would just be, for example, the same mechanics. I hadn't seen any videos going into this. I'm sure you saw a few maybe going into it. Perhaps. You could just say yes or no.
Into this episode?
No, going into the game, had you
No,
seen
the
like
trailers?
Yeah, like
Oh, I've only seen a few trailers.
how the
but
game works.
No,
Did you know?
I didn't see any gameplay.
Oh, okay.
Just the trailers.
What
I
about you?
mean, I watched the gameplay trailer, but it didn't give much away.
It didn't.
I was
And I
still
don't know.
like, what is this? So
I assumed it was going to be like Breath
I
of the
don't know.
Wild.
It didn't really change my mind at all.
I assumed that you would use the same powers and abilities that you used in Breath of the Wild. Did anybody else expect that?
I expected.
Yeah, I expected them to come back.
Yeah. You already had them. I didn't expect that you would need them. You would have to acquire them.
Yeah, and those powers were so established in that world already that we were revisiting. So I was like, how would they even, change that?
Yeah. But right away, they cleaned the slate.
Yeah, immediately. It's like burn the old, in with the new.
How much into spoilers are we allowed to get in here on this episode?
I mean, go all in, bro.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah, I
none of us
agree.
have beaten the game
Yeah,
yet, right?
okay. So full disclosure, how many hours is everybody into the game?
I don't know. You're the one that told me how many hours I was
Okay,
in.
I'm in about 20 hours. You're in about 25 hours. And when we're recording this, we're just hours away from the episode's release. So the day that this episode drops should be the first day that people can know how long, the 11th day, that's on Nintendo Switch, how long it takes to know how many hours you're into a game. But me and Link,
I had to take a week break because of work.
yeah, but we started it a little early.
We
so
started a little bit early. You got our connections. You get me? Being in a podcast finally paid off.
Yeah, and Dan was excited too because he was like, we could react to it immediately. And 24 hours after the fact, we're like, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I was just getting my feet wet,
Yeah, you're still on the Great Island or the Sky Island?
Yeah, and I had no idea what this was gonna be like or what it was about. And I kind of still don't. 20 hours in. Link is at 25 hours in. Dan, you started on launch day, so tomorrow you will know. But what's your estimate? How long you think?
50, 60?
Oh, I envy you.
I've been playing nonstop. It's bad.
I think envy's a good word. We got it early, but then real life got in the way.
Freaking life, bro.
But this
who needs work?
this aligned with your break.
I'm a student.
Yeah.
I wish I were a student.
Well, I mean, I'm a teacher, so I have a break. It's just a little. Soon I will be completely free, but
Yeah, why would you release a game finals week? Hurting every teacher and student.
I think it depends on where you live, whether it's final weeks. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just for us. It's final weeks. For all the other schools in our district still have a couple of weeks left, and some districts are already out. So,
No, okay.
yeah, it's not touch. It's touch and go every state.
Well,
and
it affected this district.
Yeah, they should keep us in mind specifically, right?
Come on,
What's the
Miyamoto.
point of sending us an early copy?
Right? Miyamoto, why do you want us to review your game if you're gonna do when we have to do finals?
Yeah, come on. But
I don't even know if Miyamoto produces.
I think he does all the Legend of Zelda games
Oh, okay.
just by. I don't know how hands on he is.
He isn't. Okay.
You know what I mean? But I think he gets a producer credit.
Oh, win.
But how do you play the game? And I'm sending that question to you guys. What is your play style?
I think
Link, you wanna?
I think for me is because there's two types of people, right? You do the side quest or you do the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do the story first, then you do the side quest. I try to do everything at the same time. So I'll do some side quest, go back to the main story, go back to side quest, and I think by doing that, I'm making my character stronger.
Yeah.
Doing shrines on the sides as well, and as I progress anywhere, right? Anytime I see a shrine, I'm gonna do it. So that's what I do. Like I like to play a balanced version of the game.
Yeah.
So that I can have the best balanced character. So that's how I play it. But because of that, like, it takes me a while to beat video games. It usually takes me a little bit longer because I like doing side quests. But yeah.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm a main story guy. I leave all the side quests until I get drawn into a world. If I get drawn into a world, and if I'll do a couple of side quests, they're on the way, you know. Usually a side quest line kind of interacts with the main story to get you used to doing the side quests. And if it's something that's like meaningful to me and enjoyable, then I'll do those kind of quests. But if it's like, oh, I know what this quest is like, I don't want to do that, then I'll leave it. I try to finish the main story as soon as possible, and then if the game is good enough, I'll return to the world and clean up. With Zelda, I'm kind of being pulled in two directions because I play the game collaboratively with my wife, which is like,
That sounds terrible.
I mean, when you're in love with someone, it's not that
No,
terrible.
that sounds terrible.
But it is like the first couple of days, it was actually very frustrating because I was overwhelmed. I think we both were. And we were just being pulled in so many directions that we got to the point where we're like, you know what? We had a day where we accomplished nothing. We played for hours. And at the end of it, it was just like, I was in the caverns and I was just getting into fights and dying constantly. And then I talked to you, Link, and you were like, I just ran. You know, I avoided battle. And then when I did that, I was like, okay, there's different ways to go about this.
Yeah.
Most games, you know, you see an enemy, you take them out, right? And then I got veered off in the caverns, and I started exploring more and more of the caverns, and I forgot what I was
By
supposed
caverns,
to be.
you mean the caves?
Yeah, the depths. The depths.
Oh,
That's
the-
the lower
oh.
level.
Oh, the depths.
The
Okay.
depths. Oh,
Yeah,
I was so
sorry.
confused.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no. I haven't even touched the depths that much.
So I got lost in the depths.
I
'Cause
hate the depths.
I got a bunch of those bright bloom flowers, which is, for those of you that haven't played the game or that are still early on, they light up the caverns. The game is structured like in 3 tiers, which, let's talk about reusing the world. Okay, they built a world on top and they built a world underneath.
Yeah, it's the same Breath of the Wild world sandwiched in
Yes.
between two, which is insane.
It is insane.
I had no idea the depths was in the game.
Yeah.
I fell in and I was
Oh, yeah.
like-
Can you tell us your experience the first time you
Go
did
ahead.
it?
Well, first time I jumped in the hole because I was like, "What even is this?" And I'm just falling and falling.
Did you
and
think
falling,
that's
and I
did
died.
you think you were gonna die? Like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I was
Like
like,
when
I
you
don't- I don't
actually
know
fall
what's going
down
on.
somewhere, you know how you die and you come back to life.
Yeah.
Is that what you were
Yeah.
expecting?
Yeah, kind of. And then I got the glider. I went down. I'm like, okay. My map just gave me a new map. What, what is happening?
This game
And
has
I did
another
some
game.
running. Yeah, I did some running around. I did a little bit of combat, and I was like, I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And I left until hours later. I was like, I don't know what that's about.
You sent me a tweet that I thought was hilarious. I was dying about the depths. Do you remember what it was?
The one is like, yeah, I went down there for a quest, and those are the demons that the Bible was talking about.
That's fair.
So I'm never going back down there.
Yeah, I'm never going back down there. Because immediately you get down there, it doesn't matter if you're level 1 or level 20 or whatever, like strong enough, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. The gloom down there. And I didn't understand. I was like, okay, don't touch the gloom because then you won't be able to heal those hearts. But I didn't realize that the monsters that come out of the gloom also count as gloom. So
Oh,
they
yeah?
touch you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, why can't I heal? And then I died. And then I got really sad. And I got really frustrated. And I kind of just like, I don't want to play today anymore. But then the next day, I got up and we did something completely different.
And that's a beautiful thing about it. Like if you get stuck in one part, you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna take a break from this, and I'm gonna do something else where I can also be productive and feel accomplished.
And that's where I got to the point where I was like, okay, they asked me to do this, but I don't have to do it now. I can go do 50 other things, right? And I'll come back to this. And that's when me and my wife came to the realization, we're not playing this game. We're going to live this game. I'm not in a rush to complete it because I will likely do this all summer. And it's okay if it takes even longer than that. because there's so much here. I don't have to rush to, to finish it all.
Yeah.
So if I have something struggling,
my perspective was a little different because I just played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I rushed through it. I did all the shrines. I did everything.
Wait, for the
I
first
rushed through
time?
it,
For the first time?
Yeah, over the hurricane last year.
Last year, okay. So within a year.
Yeah, within a year. I mean, even less. And then like 2 weeks ago, I just did master mode, and I was like speeding through it.
I haven't
doing
done
my
that.
challenge mode.
Have you?
No, I don't. I don't want to hate.
Okay, that's fair.
It's rough. that was rough. But I just did master mode, so I'm going in this with the same like I gotta move,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta run through this game, but I can't. I got overwhelmed. I had to take a break because I was like, there's too much to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm running towards something, and there's just 1,000 different things. There's so much content in this game. It's scary.
Yeah, you had the it's because it's a lot of the content is very similar to Breath of the Wild, and now you're adding all this stuff that from Tears of the Kingdom. Like you don't know what to do.
Yeah. And you know what I love? I love when you're rewarded for having played Breath of the Wild, because there are things that I know how to do instinctively, or story threads that I know like you give me a clue and I know exactly where to go and do, because it's like reflex motion from having played Breath of the Wild. You can figure it out if you didn't, but you really should play Breath of the Wild.
I think you kind of have to.
I think so.
Going into this game as your first experience with this style of Zelda, you're going to be overwhelmed.
You are, yeah.
Breath of the Wild was a little bit like easier to get into.
It holds your hand a little
someone who
at the beginning.
Yeah, a little more. This, as someone who played Breath of the Wild and even beat it in master mode, I was like, whoa, there's a lot going on. Like, these new mechanics are very different.
The one thing I was afraid of going into this game was how soon it was coming after Breath of the Wild. Usually we don't get a game on the same system.
Yeah, even like a Zelda game, in the same system.
Even though technically Breath of the Wild was developed for the Wii U and did release for the Wii U, it was a Switch launch title. So just 6 years out to get a sequel, I was confident, okay, they're reusing the world, so that helps,
Yeah.
But usually to do a direct sequel is, I don't even know if we've ever gotten well, I guess if you could say Majora's Mask is a sequel to Ocarina, it's not like this is called Breath of the Wild 2, although it was referred as that for a really long time before we got the title. But I thought it was really soon. Now that the game is out, I have the reverse reaction, which is I have no idea how they built this game in 6 years.
You know what's crazy? I was reading somewhere where it said that they completed the game in 2022. But did you send me this, Danny? I don't know, because we just keep on sending things to each other.
Yeah, we've been saying I lose track.
Yeah, I lose track. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
If it's not stupid videos on TikToks about the game, but they were saying that the game was completed in 2022, but they spent the past year perfecting the game.
Wow, just polishing it.
Yeah, which a lot of other companies, video game studios, should be doing. Like, it sucked that
they moved it. Are you talking about the Pokemon company?
And anyone.
But mostly them.
It sucked that they pushed it back a whole year and we were sad, but man, I'm happy they did it.
I honestly wasn't
sad.
Well,
think about how much they had to test.
Exactly.
With these physics and these mechanics in this world. Like, what?
Handing the reins of developer mode over to the player so that they can break the game, essentially. I mean, if you haven't played this game, you are giving the tools to manipulate level constructs, items. I don't think I've ever played a game like this before.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah.
I think the closest I played is probably Minecraft.
Fair, but not with these graphics and this advanced physics.
Yeah. I mean, George and I were talking about it early on. Like, this is beyond gaming. Like, this is, you mentioned, form of expression, self-expression.
Yes, it's art. It's art in a way that this is always an argument, and even people within the industry of video games would argue that video games are not art,
Idiots.
But this game, like the Metal Gear Solid guy, and I think he's kind of a genius.
Oh, no, we like Kojima.
Yeah. But I understand that it's just games. I understand that it's amusement, it's entertainment. but some games really push the limits of creativity. Like you mentioned Minecraft, but here's a story-driven game
Yeah.
that gives you that kind of creative freedom.
Mm.
The love and care to detail that has been put into this game. This is a must own. I think you should go buy a Switch if you don't have one.
Yeah.
If you really love gaming. It might be a little bit overwhelming for someone who hasn't gamed before, but if you play video games, this is an argument for you can not own a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's both the best fantasy game ever and the best sandbox game ever at the same time.
Yeah. And
which seems impossible.
it took me a year to accept Breath of the Wild as my favorite game of all time. I'm not done with this. I'm not gonna say that.
I'll say
but
this is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an easy. Once it's wrapped up, it's gonna be a layup.
Yeah.
You know, man. Where to begin?
I guess one of the things that we can talk about is the mechanics of the game. All the new things that they have introduced.
Right.
The Ultra Hand, the fusions of things, the Ascension.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
time,
like
going back in time, and then there's even one more thing that I don't have that I don't know what it is.
the preset build,
the auto build.
Oh, the auto
I
builder?
just got that. It's in the depths. That's why you don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Oh, well, like I told you,
Man, you know what?
I've
explored like 25% of the depths, and I don't even have it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of came across it because I got turned around looking for the cameraman at the beginning of the game, right?
Oh yeah.
And I just decided
Bobby?
I'm gonna go as deep.
Robbie.
I think it's Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go as deep as humanly possible, and then I just kept exploring. Once Link told me to run away from everyone, that was a game changer for me. And I found the temple where the auto builder is, and I got it way earlier than I think I'm supposed to. Yeah. So I have like all the abilities, but I'm not super deep into the main story. With that being said, I was like, okay, where is Robbie? So I remember the advice from The Princess Bride. When a job goes south, you always go back to the beginning.
Mm.
So I got the job at the beginning, and then I traced my way back and got to Robbie, and then I got out of the depths because I was like, maybe I should play the game on top surface level.
Can't you travel back to the roots though?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's easy. That's how I did it.
Oh,
like
okay,
once I got here, and then I got to a place that was really hard and really dark, and I was out of
And
bright
scary.
blooms. Yeah, and really scary. So I was like, all right, let me go back and get to
Well,
Robbie.
that's my favorite part about the depths is it's like really hard to navigate.
Yes. It's
If you're trying like without whatever the light blooms or the seed blooms or whatever, it's impossible.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of suicide runs. Let me tell you the level of impossible things like climbing tiers that I cannot see, and then hoping that there's a little ledge for me to rest on. Sometimes falling, and then just gliding across darkness. You know, it's pretty intense.
And then it's just like, man, this is a whole world under the world that it just blows my mind.
It's like that's what's the name of the world in Stranger Things? The underworld.
The upside
it's
down.
the
Upside down, right?
Yeah.
Because it mirrors Hyrule.
Yeah.
The shrines are in the same places as the light roots.
I didn't even realize that.
You can use
blown my
the
mind.
shrines to figure out where light roots are.
I didn't know that.
And I read that on like a
I knew
like
that,
a Twitter tips thing.
but now it makes sense. Yeah, I should be doing that.
Oh, let me tell you, when we got to the auto builder, my wife was like, "So this is what all the geniuses on TikTok are doing."
No.
Because you can save your own schematic, and she doesn't understand how they were just pulling up something and building it immediately instead of spending an hour and a half to put a wheel on a car.
But even then, some of the stuff that people were creating
is insane.
It was just like bomber planes. I just don't understand.
I really don't understand.
I am not using Ultra Hand to the most of its ability, and I never will.
Yeah, I never will.
I'll never get to that point, and that's okay.
I'm gonna scrounge my way through this game while geniuses create universes in the game.
I don't even understand. Someone had like a robot walking around. I was like,
oh yeah,
what even is
I
that?
don't know how they made the mecha.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The
game is like beyond me.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know how they created a system that I think is beyond the developers, because some of the things they're creating, I don't think were in the imagination of
Yeah.
the creators. They just made a system of physics that facilitated invention.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's such it's mind blowing what
Yep.
they've made.
And I love that they had this idea of how it should be used, and that's not how people were using it. Like there's I don't know what to call it, not a subgenre of the game, but it's people hurting, torturing the Korok seeds.
The Koroks.
The Korok seeds. So I've seen Korok seeds being crucified with metal at the top, and when it's raining, so that they get electrocuted. I've seen Korok seeds being burnt alive. I've seen Korok seeds get 9/11. I don't even know if that's you can say that.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
But oh my goodness, this game's insane.
The things people are doing.
The things that people are doing are hilarious. I can't.
I'm glad that hilarious was how you described that list of things, that just the genocide of the Korok people.
They deserve it.
Okay.
It's just the fact that you have the option,
Option to
crucify
do it, yeah.
Korok. Like,
I don't think you have I don't think they thought that would be a thing.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't kill these adorable little leaf things. Nope. People were gonna destroy them.
Yeah.
Were you the one that showed me, Danny, that video of there was a statue in the depths, and if you go up to it, you can go up, like you can use the ascension on its butt, and you go up
No, I
the
haven't
statue,
seen
like
that.
the yeah.
That's great, man.
There's so much, and that's the other thing. Sharing these kind of creations and these things,
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and all that is just Ultra Hand.
Yeah.
There's still the time reversal and the fusing weapons. We haven't even really gotten into that.
How has experimenting with those systems been for you?
I think fusing gives the game a very natural form of progression.
Yeah.
I think I didn't understand why every enemy had a horn on it at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes sense, and I do think it's nice. I feel like the durability is worse.
Then in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Okay, even after
But-
fusing.
Yeah, even after fusing. But I do have much better I have a weapon that does 90 damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something I could have done in Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because of fusing and the new perks on the weapons. Amazing.
You know,
Beautiful.
and that's a bold system to integrate into the game, because some of the things you carry on your back and you wield in your hand is like ridiculous. And they weren't afraid to go there, because they're like, hey, you did it. You broke the game, not us. Like,
Yeah.
they gave that kind of freedom to the player.
I want to know, Danny, would you fuse to get that 90 hit point?
So there's a Zora sword
uh-huh.
that if you wet it, it does double damage.
Okay.
And then I added a white bokoblin horn, which is plus 31.
Does that turn it into ice?
No.
Okay.
I feel like
So it becomes like 45, and then I just, whenever it's raining, I can just splash water on myself, and then it'll go up to 90.
Interesting.
I feel like we're talking Dungeons and Dragons,
Right here.
like hit points.
Because it's the
and-
best fantasy game ever.
bro.
It's amazing.
And because Zelda, and I guess we could talk a little bit about, or eventually about, kind of the history of Zelda and how we got here. But Zelda typically is like pseudo RPG. It has elements, but it's not an actual RPG.
Yeah.
But this aspect of the fantasy now has taken it to a brand new level. And I think maybe you'll lose some people along the way, but
What? You think so?
I don't think.
Bro.
Maybe like a small handful.
If you lost,
but-
if you got turned off by the Legend of Zelda franchise because of this game, you're weak.
I think maybe people who are not all in already, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
if they just pick up this game, they're like, "Whoa, this is a lot." You know, this is
Okay.
complex. Like,
Like casual gamer.
yes, well,
Okay.
or a gamer who's like not a Nintendo gamer, for
Okay.
example. If you're not all in, bought in with Zelda, I think that's why I wouldn't tell someone to jump into this game. I'd say play Breath of the Wild. Play Breath of the Wild,
absolutely.
and if you
Without
love
a
that,
doubt.
and if you love, that's enough. Because Dan, like you said, this is, or I think you mentioned off the air, this is your first Zelda game, right?
Yeah, well,
Breath
this
of
is
the
my
Wild.
first Zelda series.
Yeah.
Zelda series. I never considered myself a Legend of Zelda fan. I loved Link, but only from like Smash. That was the only time I had like played as Link.
What about the 90s
But
cartoon?
I died. I only know the memes from
Oh,
that.
okay.
But that's it.
I watched those
But
13
yeah, I
episodes
mean-
like 100 times.
It was only 13?
Yeah, because I know because I own it, and when I bought it, it was like the complete series, and it was only 13 episodes or something, and I'm like, what? This is what I watched over and over and over and over again as a child. Apparently, the same. 13.
Is that the only content where Link talks?
Yeah, I think so. Huh?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean clearly not.
But yeah, it's just these two games have made me a fan of Legend of Zelda. I would be willing to go back and play the older game
As you should.
after I'm done with this giant,
So in 2025.
fantasy game. Yeah, in a few years. But I guess I don't know if I would consider myself a real Legend of Zelda fan right now, but I definitely feel like I've been brought in. And I think a lot of people are being brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not go back to play the older games because they're so different,
Right.
but a good amount will.
Especially because they give like half of them away if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah,
I think if you do have Nintendo Switch Online, I'd say definitely go back and play those games. Link, what about your experience, Legend of Zelda as a franchise?
Oh, I try to play as. I started in not that I started, but the first Legend of Zelda game I ever played or watched my brother play was Ocarina of Time. So ever since then, I'm like, all right, let's. If you're not, if I grew up watching my brother play the games.
Yeah.
Wind Waker. When we got the GameCube, I saw him play. I saw him beat it. I saw him beat Majora's Mask. I saw him beat Twilight Princess. And it was after Twilight Princess that's when like, all right, I'm gonna start playing Zelda now on my own. And I was like a freshman in high school. No, I was a seventh grader in when the Wii came out and Twilight Princess came out. And I didn't play that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one one of the ones I haven't played. But after that, like, all right, the only ones I played were the handheld ones.
Right.
So like Minish Cap.
Those are the only ones I haven't played.
Oh, okay. No, those are the ones I grew up playing because the other ones I don't know why I thought they were too scary.
Yeah.
So I played the Minish Cap. I played A Link to the Past. The other ones, right? The ones from the Wind Waker series.
Phantom Hourglass. Spirit Tracks. You played Four Swords Adventure?
No, I didn't play that one.
Okay.
Don't.
It's
Yeah.
like its own thing.
Yeah, and then after Breath of the Wild came out, like I beat it, and by this time my brother stopped playing Zelda.
Yeah.
So since I beat it, I'm like, all right, I'm the patriarch of the family
you have
now.
to pick up the Sword of Time.
Exactly, I'm the
Master Sword.
patriarch. I'm in charge. And so yeah, so ever since then, I'm like, I'll buy any Zelda game. So
Immediately. And you mentioned Ocarina of Time, and I think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on a lesser level was kind of a turning point for the series.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that game came out, that was when Zelda grew up. And it was kind of like, all right, Nintendo has their Final Fantasy. Because Final Fantasy, like the old school Final Fantasies were a certain way, but when 7 came out, it created an identity for that series and for PlayStation as a gaming console. Like, these are the experiences you can have that you can't have anywhere else. And Ocarina of Time was like, okay, this isn't A Link to the Past anymore.
Yeah.
This is brand new. And that's where it kind of creates a new identity. But like you mentioned, you get the 2D ones, you get the handheld ones.
They still provide you with more options.
Right. That original
franchise,
tradition continues even with new series that kind of replicate and remakes that replicate games like A Link to the Past, which is amazing, and the re-release for Link's Awakening. So,
I played that one as well.
That's right, Link's Awakening.
And A Link Between Worlds, that was also a great one.
Yeah. Oh, I have not played A Link Between
that one's
Worlds.
great,
I
yeah.
have it. I've heard great things. I played Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, which was made by Capcom. I remember getting both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought
That's
one.
for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, it's for the Game Boy Color. We had to me and my brother got a different one, and then we had to swap.
So they did the Pokemon thing.
Yeah, well, yes and no, because it's a completely different game. I don't understand.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's almost like I think they just started developing the game, and it just got so big that they're like, this is 2 games.
Let's cut it in half.
Yeah. So, no, they're completely different games. It's not like different
Interesting.
versions of the same game. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Zelda. I've played almost every, like I mentioned, except you've probably played the ones that I haven't played. But this is a brand new chapter, and I think, like you said, it's bringing more people in.
I do appreciate that these games are so special to Nintendo that they do re-release them. Like the only reason I was able to play Ocarina of Time is because they released it for the 3DS. So it's like I like that they do that because someone like Danny, who hasn't, who's saying that this is his first Zelda franchise, he can now go back and play these games.
Well, I know the first time I played some of the Zelda games was that GameCube disc.
Right? The one that had them all?
That had them all, right. And it had Master Quest for Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Which had been shelved here in the States. It came out in Japan. And that was the first time that we were able to play with all the reverse dungeons. And that was like a pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
And now that's worth like hundreds of dollars.
And we had it. We had it.
Yeah, we
had that game.
That's my life.
And then I gave it away or threw it away.
In a nutshell. I'm pretty sure someone in Colombia has it now. So, we talked a little bit about the gameplay mechanics of the new game, Tears of the Kingdom, which is redefining Zelda for a generation. What about the story and the lore?
I'm going to be honest with you. The lore for Legend of Zelda, for me, is always very confusing.
Why is that?
Yeah.
So I don't even know where. I don't know where it starts. Some of it is like the timeline splits.
Yeah.
Even like
I think it's Ocarina of Time that splits that timeline.
Yeah.
I think it creates like the one where you go back and the one where you don't, and then there's two timelines from that point on.
Exactly. It splits. And even then, the newer games, some of the newer games are like, oh no, this is the first Zelda game, right? Like
1,000 years before. No, 1,000 years before that.
Now, yeah, exactly. So what's the name of the Skyward Sword is is like the first one, right? Like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then this one seems like it could also be the first Zelda game.
Well, I remember this was very confusing for Zelda fans throughout the years, and I don't think it was until Breath of the Wild where they're like, this is how it works. And when they started becoming open with like Link is just reincarnated, like with every generation, and most of them are X number of years apart. And then they released the Hyrule Historia, which finally created a definitive timeline for the games.
So wait, where does Breath of the Wild stand on that timeline?
I mean, I'd have to dust off my Hyrule Historia, but I know it's very, very early on.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the first one at that point, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
it might be.
No, I think Skyward Sword still the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
But then I don't know where this one leads.
Yeah, maybe I should have brought the Historia.
Don't you have it?
Yeah, it's downstairs. Yeah.
Go get it.
You serious? Okay. Keep it. Is that a serious request?
Yeah, go get it.
Go
Yeah, it'll be fun. Danny and I will improvise.
You guys can keep talking about story and lore if you want.
So I'm going to explain to you, Danny, the lore of Legend of Zelda. In the next,
just give me like the 5 minute like.
I wish I could. I don't even know. I honestly don't know. Like to me, like the overall story doesn't really matter. Like the one that connects everything. I just like playing the game individually.
I mean, I think I don't even know, man.
I don't even remember.
It's super daunting to get into the story.
I don't even remember what happened in Breath of the Wild.
I remember because it was so
because it was so recent.
Me,
yeah.
But...
No, I don't. I know I saved Zelda.
Yeah, I know. And now she's gone again.
And now she's gone again. I know Zelda wears the yoga pants in Breath of the Wild,
which is an interesting choice.
Just kiss. Just kiss. That's it. That's all. I don't remember anything other than the 4 monsters and you having your own team of people and Rivali being a butthole.
Well, I think this game has a better story contained to the game than the other one did. Yeah. I think the Divine Beast story wasn't my favorite.
Oh, I really liked it, actually.
I liked it, but I think this one might be better. You know what it was? It feels more. You feel like you connected more with this one because these people were actually there helping you out, and you play with them, and then I don't know what their spirit is still helping you out.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the ally system.
Yeah, well,
that's a bit annoying.
Honestly, that was my one criticism of Breath of the Wild, that I felt like your friends aren't really there for you. I thought there would be a moment where you would use the
Yeah.
champions, but you guys weren't really a team.
No, you
And I
use
thought
their
maybe-
powers.
Yeah, and I thought the DLC would do that and put us in the
Oh
place.
yeah, the Champions Ballad.
Yeah, and it didn't. So that would be one.
Hey, can you tell that
criticism.
story you told me about the student in the Fortnite?
Oh, a student comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, how you doing on that new Fortnite game?"
And the student's not like a gamer, right?
Yeah, he's just some random.
very studious.
Yeah. He's a very studious, not a big gamer, but he's a good kid, really good kid. And he's like, "Oh, how's the new Fortnite game?" And I'm like, "What is what are you talking about? It's the same Fortnite game." He's like, "That new $70 Fortnite game that you got that everybody's playing." And I was like, "You mean the Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom?" And he's like, "Yeah, that one." And I was like, "How is that a Fortnite game?"
Oh man.
And he's
Man.
he's
Every
like-
Legend of Zelda is Fortnite.
he's like, "Oh, it's the same thing. I saw my friend playing it, and it's you run around the map, and you have weapons, and you shoot the monsters, and you build your squad. You meet a friend, and he joins your squad, and then there's 4 of you. You and your 3 friends, and you have to survive." And Link was like, "That sounds like
That's
Fortnite."
like, yeah.
Maybe he's right.
My favorite part is that this kid is so sweet that he's trying to connect with him.
You think that's what was going on?
I don't know. Maybe he was trying to butter
you're
you
right.
up, but
No, I think you're right. No, he's not. Yeah, I think he was trying to.
he's trying to connect with him. It's something that he doesn't really care about. And I'm like, oh, that's adorable.
I mean, hey, he's onto something.
He's onto something there. Yeah.
Maybe
Fortnite.
every game. is
$70
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Maybe. But did I overpay for the Legend of Zelda? Because Fortnite's free. Actually, let's not talk about how much I spent on that game. But let me tell you, I would have paid twice as much for this game.
No, yeah. Like
Wait, yeah. Can we talk about the $70 price tag?
Yeah.
No. It's worth it because it's worth it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Were
I
you
was
flabbergasted at first?
By the $70?
Yes.
Yeah, I was offended that a Switch game would be $70. Now I realize it's not because it's next gen, it's because of the content.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is next gen because actually I've had this comment on my lips probably since we started talking about it. This is an argument for next gen gaming. When we play on PlayStation, I'm playing the new not the new Spider-Man, the remastered version from just a few years ago of the Spider-Man game from a couple of more years ago you were playing Jedi Survivor on Xbox.
Yeah,
These next gen games.
I don't think I'm getting back to that game now anytime soon.
Yeah, that was a bad release schedule. Well, they sold it. That's what they care about, right?
Yeah.
You're going to finish it someday. But when we play these next gen games, the visuals, the level of like processing power, figures, all that other stuff, amazing, right? Next gen. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing. The creativity behind this is pushing gaming forward.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
This is next gen on a whole other level where the development of a game and its concept is the next generation of what gaming is going to be. I can see so many games attempting to take just one little idea from this game and build an entire game around it.
You think this one's
Because you can.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
absolutely can.
Yeah,
Every
that's not a
mechanic
knock.
could absolutely carry a game
Yeah.
on its own.
Mm-hmm.
you think this game wins Game of the Year?
There's no
If it
question
doesn't,
about it.
then
man.
it's rigged.
Then it's
Yeah.
rigged.
Bro,
Yeah.
if it doesn't, yeah, you're right. But to me, this
'Cause
is,
What could possibly
This is the
compare?
game of the century.
Yeah, I mean,
game
I
of
mean,
the
it just,
year.
yeah. We just
as good as
started.
Star Wars or was God of War. God of War was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what game comes out. I don't see how it could possibly compare. I'm trying to look for the timeline here in the Historia. I think it was this book.
I think
You know, I'm torn about whether or not I'm happy that it's on the Switch. It's the perfect game for the Switch, and they've got it running better. But I can't help but think, what if this was like a dedicated Nintendo home console
Right.
with more power?
Or a super powerful
It's running-
handheld like a Steam Deck or
Yeah,
Or
it's
whatever.
running better than Breath of the Wild.
yeah, it is. Which is crazy.
I'm
'cause-
having a lot less, which is insane because it's a much crazier game.
Mhm.
But I'm a little bit torn on that.
Are you talking about the screen tearing? When you're saying you're torn, every once in a while there'll be like a graphical, it's muddiness.
But imagine what they could do on a dedicated Nintendo home console.
It'd
Here
be
we go.
beautiful.
Here's the timeline. I found it. There's a chronology of Hyrule, the land of the gods, the history of the cycle of rebirth and the Triforce. You are correct. Skyward Sword, the Minish Cap, 4 swords.
Wait, Minish Cap is second?
Yeah.
What?
It goes the creation of the land and sky, and then that's Skyward Sword. The era of chaos, the sacred realm is sealed. The establishment of Hyrule Kingdom, Minish Cap, 4 swords. The Hyrulean Civil War, Ocarina of Time, and then there is 2 branching timelines. The hero is defeated. A Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Link's Awakening, the original Legend of Zelda, and the Adventure of Link. The hero is triumphant timeline. Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and 4 Swords Adventures. The reincarnation of Ganondorf, the resurrection of Vati. That's how it ends. And then there's the adult era. Oh, because with Majora's Mask, you're in 2 timelines as well. So that's the child era. The adult era goes, it's called The Hero of Winds in a New World. And it starts The Wind Waker, The Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. Wait, but where's Breath of the Wild? Oh, was this before Breath of the Wild? No, that's not possible.
I guess it is.
You got to buy a new one now.
Oh, no. They are making a.
And I saw that you ordered it.
Yeah, right.
I saw that you pre-ordered it. I'm like, oh.
Yep. If they just keep printing hardcover books about Zelda, and I will continue to buy them.
Makes sense.
Before they go out of print and then cost hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. That one. What? How much did this one cost? The one that you pre-ordered. The new.
It was a $30 book.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, but when they go out of print, then you can't get them again later.
Maybe I should buy it.
So, the visuals and sound. Okay, you talked a little bit about that. So, if there's anywhere to criticize, I guess it's visuals. Yes or no?
Not even. I would say performance.
Performance.
The slight performance buffers, but I'm nitpicking at this point.
Well, because it is also a triumphant success that you can hold it in your hand and take it with you, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's the perfect Switch game.
Yeah.
But also the possibilities of this on like a dedicated home console.
Would you buy this again?
Make me wonder.
Would you buy this again if it was re-released for a next gen console?
Without a doubt, yes.
That's fair. Link?
With like a little bit of touched up graphics and a little bit of shader work, I would buy it again.
If it was like the difference between, how you can play the same game on the Xbox One and the Series S and X, but it just looks and performs better, you would do that? You would purchase it?
I would do it.
That's fair.
I think it'd be worth it. If you knocked it up to like 60 frames too, it's gonna be a different experience.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So what you're saying is what you were at first flabbergasted that you were gonna
now
pay $70.
I'm willing to spend $140. I mean, but this is like a game I'm gonna play for like 500 plus hours. I can't
Seriously.
complain.
It makes sense, yeah.
How
Spending more than $1 an hour.
How many hours did you put into Breath of the Wild? Do you know?
140.
140. I have 250. Is that bad?
Way got my money's worth.
Link, do you have any idea?
No, I don't know because someone stole my game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's saved.
It should still say
it's saved on your profile.
I know, but I don't want to look at it because it'll remind me that someone stole my game.
You want to? Have you shared that story on air?
No.
You want to give us a little? Yeah.
I don't want to share it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell the name or anything.
No, I don't want to share it.
But I really want to hear it.
No.
It's relevant.
Yeah. Well, why don't you have Breath of the Wild, Link?
Because I lent it to someone.
And?
Thinking, oh, this guy's got a Switch. He's, let me help him out. He won a Switch. He won a Switch. What is it, Lite?
Yeah.
What are they called now?
That's what they're called now.
He won a Lite. What's with now that I realize what's with Nintendo naming consoles Lite?
I mean, because
the DS Lite, the Switch Lite.
Because they're lighter than the original model.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Anyways, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lend you the 2 best games I have, Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey.
You should always lend one.
So
game
bold.
At a time. Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
bold,
two
so
best
bold, so
games I
nice.
own.
Yeah,
Here
so
you go.
I'm like, I feel, I thought this person is special. Let me share this with
No
them.
one can knock Link and say that he doesn't love with his heart
I love,
and not his mind.
Yeah.
I love hard. Okay,
Yeah, he loves hard.
I love hard. It hurts me. So I lent it to them, and then like a few months later, like I was talking to him, and I guess he was trying to be more disciplined in his life, academically, spiritually, right? And he goes, "Yeah, man, I I'm trying to do better. I even sold my Switch and the games." And I was like, "What do you mean you sold the Switch and the games?" "Yeah, I sold the Switch and the games so I can buy some other stuff, and I just didn't want to play video games anymore." And I didn't want to remind him that I lent him Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey.
You did it?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I did it. And I was like, I love hard. Okay, I love hard.
Okay.
I didn't want to call this person out,
I didn't even know this part of the story.
but I was like, what? I lent you my games. I didn't say anything, but I was like, okay, cool.
How many hours do you think he put in before he sold it? Like 1 or 2?
5 tops.
Yeah, probably 5 times. And the crazy
And then
part
it
is
was
that he
gone?
said that his favorite out of the games, out of the 2, he really enjoyed Mario Odyssey. I mean, I don't blame him. It's a cuter game.
It's like 10 hours too.
Yeah.
Right? That's funny.
So, moral of the story: never lend your video games.
I mean,
Your best video games.
never lend something to a friend that you don't mind never seeing either of them.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. I've learned the hard way.
You said you were just entering the Zelda series, Dan. How familiar are you with like the key sounds and themes from the series?
I wasn't as familiar. In terms of sounds, like I knew like Navi, I knew the Hey Listen, like I knew like the Find a Good Item like sound.
How does
But
it?
I wasn't really familiar.
How does it hit experiencing them in context?
It's nice, man. It's like it really is like addicting, the rush of dopamine, like from opening a chest.
Mm-hmm.
The sound work in that game is next level. It's the attention to detail in that game. And we could talk about this game for like 10 hours straight.
Yeah.
There's so much attention to detail.
It sounds like an exaggeration, and this is probably one of the less funny or jovial episodes, right? Because we're so in love with this game.
We're in awe.
Yeah, you could literally start a podcast about this game. Eventually, I guess you'd run out of things to talk about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and then you just go into by that time,
The other ones.
yeah, Zelda in general. But I feel like you could get an entire season of just at least Tears of the Kingdom. Like you could do an episode just on sound and music.
100%. And then you could do an episode on combat, exploration, the cave system.
The monsters.
Just an
yeah.
episode called Ultra Hand,
Yeah.
which I sent you guys that image of the Ultra Hand toy. Did you guys hear about that?
Oh yeah,
Oh, so-
you always show
But
that.
had you seen that anywhere else or
No.
Yeah, it was interesting. An old Nintendo toy that was once
Yeah.
released called the Ultra Hand, and now it comes back and it informs this game
Or was it like something
That's
that
so
like
cool.
the
like a gripper.
like
Yeah,
a gripper, like a back scratcher?
yeah.
type
You
of-
just pick up stuff and you just move it. It's a great toy, but you know
so
what?
cool.
But didn't they do something similar to with another game?
They do stuff like that all the time.
Like there was a toy that they released, and then in this game they turned it into, they put it in the game, like the Ultra Hand. I don't know.
I feel like they do that all the time.
I know, so I'm trying to figure out which.
And they're always referencing like their history.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
trying to figure
think
out
about
which
Game & Watch. Think about Rob the robot.
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm trying to think which one.
The Virtual Boy. I mean, you have in Breath of the Wild the Sheikah Slate, which is basically a Wii U gamepad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the Pura Pad, which is basically a Nintendo Switch.
Mm.
And it's just interesting the way that some might say it's a little cheesy or corny or novelty, but I think others would argue it's immersive in the fact that when Link picks up that tablet and holds it to your face, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you are Link.
It's
am
cool.
Link,
I
except
think
that-
it's creative.
Yeah. And it
It's
also
integrated in a clever way, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So.
and it also locks the game in a specific time and place in its history. Because you know in 20 years they're going to be playing this game as a classic game, but the system that it existed on will always be engraved in the game as a whole.
Mm.
I mean, I think the fact that we're playing this so close to release is really special. This is a game that will be remembered for, like, this is a game that's
Mhm.
history.
And I do think that with the advancement of social media, it has made the game more memorable and more popular more popular, because at least in my TikTok algorithm, my feed, it's just literally Breath of the Wild. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's my Reddit feed. It's just Tears
So
of the Kingdom.
My Twitter is just
Twitter as well,
Kingdom.
just Tears of the Kingdoms. Yeah, that and the Miami Heat at the moment. But
Yeah, exactly.
that's it. Like it's making me appreciate the game a lot more because of that. Like seeing what other people were doing.
Yeah, and I think it's connecting people.
Connecting, yes.
Yeah, we tapped a little
It's a
bit into it.
community.
Yeah. And you can
They're fusing us.
see. And the thing is too that's not atypical historically for a single player game
It's
like
not
this.
exactly.
It's easy to know, hey, let's hop on and let's get together. But now you can share in the narrative that you've created with someone else's narrative that might be completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I see people on Twitter, they've built their entire house in like Hateno Village, and it's like this grand, glorious thing, but they haven't done any quests.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's sharing their own like genuine experiences in the game, and they're completely different from mine.
Have you been able to build a house yet, Danny?
No, I haven't even.
Oh, okay.
Don't have it either.
Because I was gonna ask, how do you get that Pura picture in your house? Yeah, in your house, because I want that in my house. Like you can, when you build your house, you can put artwork,
Okay.
and someone put pictures of Pura in,
Interesting.
and yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a family show, so I'm not going to ask any other further questions.
I think I'm in love with Pura.
You know, she's
Understandable.
I could see you guys living a happy life together, Len.
Yeah, you know, I'd be exploring the depths with her.
I hope that's not a euphemism.
With her,
Oh, with her. No.
I'd be using the Ultra Hand.
You talked about someone prioritizing building, someone
The Ascension?
prioritizing combat. The other day, I spent 45 minutes just playing around with Ultra Hand and Fuse, and I accomplished nothing in the game.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, well, what did we just spend all that time doing?
You got used to it.
And I said, learning.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating, but
Yeah.
like it comes in handy like when you learn. I mean, we haven't even dived into like the actual shrine puzzles,
Okay.
Oh.
So go right ahead.
which I would say are like on par with like Portal 2 in terms of creativity.
Yes. I think
I
they
would say
blow
almost
breath.
beyond them.
Some
I
of them
think-
are really hard.
I think they blow Breath of the Wild out of
Oh, I agree.
out of the air.
The creative freedom you have in these shrines with these abilities.
But I feel like it's because of Breath of the Wild that they create.
That's
They
fair.
have all this
Yeah.
creative freedom because
Yeah, that's
people were being creative and finding a loophole to the
Right.
So they thought, okay, now let's make it more puzzle based. But because in Breath of the Wild, a lot of the shrines were combat based. I have yet to find a combat based shrine.
Oh yeah, I
It's all
actually
puzzle.
those were my favorite.
Those were my
'cause
favorite,
I
too.
love to,
Yeah.
You love
I love to
combat-based
be-
shrines?
I like the
Oh, I
combat
hated
one.
combat-based shrines.
Oh, I love them.
I love puzzle shrines.
But I mean, in these they're a lot more creative, and I have found some. I guess I'm gonna put in quotations combat based where they take your armor,
Oh
you
yes,
kinda
I
have
found
to,
one
like,
of those. Yeah,
figure yourself out with the abilities you have, like fuse and stuff, and that's okay for me. Like instead of the other combat ones, like I enjoy those as much
yeah.
as the test of strength that we used to have. in
You know,
Breath of the
and
Wild.
that's the thing that this game does not supplant Breath of the Wild. This game is like an extension of it in the sense that
It's the ultra hand of Breath of the Wild.
This is what I expected. Everything that Breath of the Wild does and more. This is what I got. Different, just like a completely different game in the same world. And it was like you can say that I missed this in that game because this game is not trying to do what that game did,
Mm.
which
It's
is
completely different.
Yeah.
And it plays completely different. Even
Mhm.
in the way you explore. Even the familiar areas that you re-explore
yeah.
play completely different. And now the new cave systems.
Oh, I really enjoyed the cave systems. I think that was a good addition.
They're
to the game,
incredible.
right?
I don't even think I'm there yet. What is the cave system?
You should go to caves.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just caves all
Caves
over
all
the
over
map.
the map,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I see.
Go to and there's different things there. You can find.
You know, I missed that. Does that count like the ones that are in the sky, like in the Sky Island, or not? Like, are you talking about like combat based
No.
caves?
No, you go.
No,
to
it's just like caves with stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, okay.
There's
Yeah,
monsters
because there's a
inside.
bunch like at the beginning world, and I didn't explore any of that stuff. So I think I was telling Link, I spent hours and hours of this game with no shirt on, like because I hadn't found any clothes, and then it wasn't until I went up there and I was like, I thought that once I left the Sky Island, I would never have to go back.
No, you.
That first time I jump off, I was like, that's the tutorial world. No,
No, there's so much more.
this game
Man, I
exists
haven't
on 3
been back
levels.
there.
And I haven't been back there. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to you said about these shrines, sometimes I don't even know what the solution is. I know what my solution was,
neither.
but it was just like, is there I
I don't know how I was actually supposed
Yeah,
to do it.
exactly. It was like I figured it out using physics, so it's a solution, but I wonder, is there one specifically in mind, you know? Because
I
there's
would
so
love
much-
to compare the
What
way
we've done,
we should
right?
do that. We should
Yeah.
find a shrine.
Oh yeah.
All do it and compare. It's just so interesting, like the options you have, the things I've seen people just like throw spears with rockets to complete a puzzle,
Yes.
and I'm like, I didn't even think that was like an option.
I had the Wind Waker boomerang, right? And there was a shrine where you needed to use the rocket, and I didn't know
How'd you get that?
with an amiibo.
Oh, okay. Good thing I'm here.
Oh, I found one on the map.
Oh, really?
I know they have it on the map. I should have it.
Yeah, in the depths.
So good, because I need it. Because I was like, okay, if I throw the boomerang, will it come back to me even if I attach a rocket? And then my wife was like, do it. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna lose the boomerang because it's like above a chasm. And she's like, I will get it again eventually. And I'm like, but no, I want it. So I did it and I lost it. And then it was sadness. But then I beat the shrine. So then it was happiness. So it was very ambivalent to me. And it's just that kind of like risk taking. Because I was like, can I reset the temple and just do it with something else and get my boomerang back? And she's like, no, just let it go. And
That was your solution at the moment.
Yep, that was the solution, to throw the boomerang and lose it. I was mentioning before we hit record, I do not envy whoever has to put together the walkthrough for this game, because what would be the definitive linear path here and the specific solutions
Yeah.
to the puzzles and the shrines and everything?
I think maybe they should do it by. They just do it by region instead of story.
Uh-huh.
Like, all right,
Yeah, you have to do shrine by
Shrine by-
shrine
yeah.
walkthrough and like
yeah,
area by area.
area by area, and then you do whatever side quests you can do in that specific area. Yeah.
But man,
However, it's interesting. Like I said, because of social media, my walkthrough has been TikTok.
Interesting.
Like, you know,
that different snippets of
the
what people
different
are
snippet
doing.
of what people are doing, right? And it's not me looking for it. It's like all right, cool. I see this. I know when I'm going to use it. I'm going to save it for later, so that for example, I just got the Hylian shield, and I got the tunic of time. I got the something boots. You get a guard's boots, a guard's cap, and you can get that in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as you start off the game, you can go get that.
Yeah, someone advised me to. They're just like, go straight for it. and
I'm
grab
like,
it.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna.
You told me not to, so I didn't.
And then I didn't. I'm like, I'm not gonna go inside there. I already have a branch. But then I went back. I saw it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna save this. When I think I'm strong enough, I'm gonna go back and do it. And I did it. And yeah, I just love the fact that
I mean,
these little things are now my walkthroughs, these quick videos.
like the Octorok thing I mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
where you can actually like repair your weapons. I
Uh-huh.
would have never known that
Me neither.
without TikTok.
Have
And
you?
I'm not even on TikTok. It
Yeah.
was just like it
On it-
came up on my friend's TikTok, and he showed me, and I was like,
Have you seen how to duplicate things? I found out because of TikTok. Yeah.
And honestly, you showed me a video that inspired me to go back, because it was like the day that I was frustrated, and I was
Mhm.
like, I can do that. and a student at school was like, "Oh, look, you can do like a," because I was using my flame arrows to melt ice, and he's like, "Oh, just build a flame shield," and I'm like, "Oh, what now?"
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Oh, just build a cart shield so that you can, Tony Hawk Pro Skater around the map." I was like, "What now?" And that's when it was like, "Oh, I can fuse literally anything."
Anything, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, and that hadn't. I'm still thinking, or at least I was at the time, and I think I still, to some level, am thinking linear, as in this is a game. It has a solution. You have to figure out what you're supposed to do, rather than create
Yeah.
something. And that's that mindset that I think I have to change,
In this
because
game, yeah.
there's more than one way to skin a cat in this game, and it is.
It really is hard to switch that mindset, though. Like, we are so...
Because
we've all been playing games for years, and there's always a specific way to do something.
and that's been Zelda for you. There's a specific way of doing
absolutely.
it until now. Breath of the Wild, you realize you can go outside of the lines. Here there are no lines.
Yeah, yeah. Because with Breath of the Wild, you've got these powers to manipulate, but you have to specifically use them in a specific way.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. You can cheese your way sometimes, but that's what you're doing. You're cheesing.
Mhm.
Here, it's like, go ahead, do what you want, figure it out.
Yeah. Here's the puzzle. Here's some stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes it's literally just junk. Sometimes it's literally
and
like
you're just like, what do I
some
do?
planks, a wall, balls. Okay. You mentioned that this is what Zelda has done, and this is what Zelda is doing now. So, what was some of the reception feedback you got from either people online, critics, the people around you? What has the reception to this game been? It's been a little over a week now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, 10 days.
10 days,
Or
yeah. It'll be 2 weeks soon. Yeah.
yeah. So what has the reception been like? I know, Dan, you made a comment about some people thinking that it isn't a Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, that was a take I saw on Twitter, was that if you are either a Legend of Zelda fan or you are a Breath of the Wild fan,
Okay.
which I thought was kind of ridiculous, but
¿Por qué
a
no
lot
los
of
dos?
people seem to agree with that take.
Really?
Yeah, which was surprising to me. It's a very gatekeepy comment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you should want people to feel included into this community.
I mean, I think that, without being said, how do you even compare the original Zelda to, Ocarina of Time, to Four Swords Adventure? I mean, these games are so fundamentally different.
Yeah, exactly.
Twilight
At every
Princess.
point, they changed. This is just another change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
Can you explain that comment for me? Like, you're either a Legend of Zelda's fan or a Breath of the Wild fan. Can you explain?
The point they were trying to make is that most people who will play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom won't go back to play the old games because they won't enjoy them because they're so different. Like, they're a fan of the open world format and this exploration format that's just not gonna be there in like the DS games or like
It's not be as much.
yeah.
It's interesting because
You're either a Mario Galaxy fan or you're a Super Mario fan.
kind of, exactly.
That's interesting.
You're either a GTA 5 fan or you're a Grand Theft Auto top down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chinatown.
But that's like a ridiculous thing to say. Because if you play GTA 5 and you love it, you're a GTA fan.
No, I agree with you. It's a very gatekeepy comment to say because this game is going to introduce a lot of people are going to play this game now, right? They're going to get introduced to the Legend of Zelda's series because of this. And like I said earlier, like the beauty of Nintendo is that they bring back their games, right? Obviously, they make money off of it, so why not?
Except for Pokemon.
Except for
Well, I think we're getting some more Pokemon now through the Game Boy.
That's true.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can play red and blue and yellow on the Switch right now. On the Switch, right?
No, I don't think yet.
Oh, okay.
I think they're coming.
They're coming. Okay.
Yeah.
But even then, like you were able to play some of these games and go back and like, oh, they would have never played these games had they not played Breath of the Wild. So it's gonna introduce new people to the game. And
I mean, Ocarina of Time did that for me.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, and that was, what year was that? That's got to be
96.
No, 90. Yeah, 90. It's got to be like 97. I think 96 is Mario, and then like within a year, Zelda came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. middle school.
Mm.
You know, so I think those first kids in middle school and high school now, this is going to be their first Zelda.
Yeah.
They are going to go back because Ocarina of Time couldn't be more fundamentally different
Than every other
the
game.
original Zelda. And I ended up loving, A Link to the Past.
Mm.
Some people, A Link's Awakening, the remake, is now the first and only version that they'll play of Link's Awakening. And, and if that, whatever the gateway drug is to the world of the Legend of Zelda,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to
You
have
should
an
welcome
open
it.
Yeah. I mean, Cadence of Hyrule might be someone's first.
Nah, that game I can't get into.
No, I know you can't get it,
I can't,
but
yeah.
it might be.
But it will be someone.
It might scratch the itch for someone that then gets
Yeah.
them to come because it's so different. Like
Mm.
Hyrule Warriors might hook someone into the Legend of Zelda. It's there's no wrong entry point.
Yeah.
Specifically for Legend of Zelda, there's other things in your life that they're definitely wrong entry
Mm.
points. So don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
What else? The first day that it dropped, I made this mistake with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because I got hyped for this game and I bought it before the reviews came in, and the reviews were too nice anyway, so I probably would have bought it anyways because I was greatly disappointed. So I lost faith in the sense that there's no slam dunk,
Mm.
But when the reviews came in for this game and they were like almost perfect,
10s across the board.
Yeah, 10s across the board, hundreds, I think anyone who scored it low, I didn't see, I didn't read, I got a breakdown of like the Metacritic and the top, 50, 80 reviews that came out that day once the embargo lifted. And I don't think there was anyone under a 9, or a 4 out of 5 or anything like that, and everybody was just glowing reviews. To be so unanimously acclaimed immediately. I know one of the few criticisms was that the controls were difficult to grasp. How do you guys feel?
They're pretty intuitive.
I think so too.
I think once you start getting into the flow of it,
yeah.
everything feels really natural.
That was a big...
It took me a long time to even figure out I could just throw items.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't realize that. I was using an arrow for every item I wanted to use. Yeah. But then after I got into it, I'm like, man, this is really intuitive. I go to throw my sword, I switch. Now I have an item in my hand. I'm going to throw it.
Yeah, it took me a while to get a hold of that, cancel sword, bow, cancel bow, put everything away. That the fact that it changes what your equip button is depending on what you have out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things like Ultra Hand, Fuse, Reverse. Reverse, for example, I hadn't realized. I thought when they teach you reverse, you reverse things that are already moving.
No, you can control it.
Yeah. Until I got to a shrine where I had to move something with my Ultra Hand, and then I reversed that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can control what gets reversed. A thing can be put into motion by me and then reversed.
Yeah.
And then that just opens up possibilities.
Have you ever used all 3 with an item? I showed this to Danny, but
what is all 3?
Reverse
Ultra Hand and
and Ascension.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool.
Incorporate Ascension.
So
Ascend.
So what you do is, let's say you have to climb somewhere and you don't reach.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you get a rock and you lift it up, right? And you hold it there maybe a few seconds as high as you can, and then it'll fall, right? So you use reverse. And as it's doing reverse, you can use ascend to go up. And right there, you're a lot closer than what you were before. So you can climb up.
I see.
So
that's
when I saw that, I was like, bro, that's freaking crazy. How?
Yeah.
I've used it multiple times.
It's very useful, yeah.
Oh, man. Now I got to...
Because there's some places where you really can't get, you might not have the stamina to climb.
Yeah.
And it helps out.
Every time I have a conversation with anyone, it's just, I think of, okay, this is what I'm going to do the next time I'm in front of this game.
Yeah.
It's just constantly learning
what you can do.
Things about the game.
Yeah.
It's insane.
What impact do you think it's going to have on the Zelda series as a whole?
I mean, didn't they already say the next game was going to be same style?
Oh, did they? I didn't hear that.
That's what I read. Probably go back and double check that. But from what I saw, they said that, you can expect the next game to be follow suit.
I read a review on day one that was like, this game is amazing, but I hope that Nintendo knows that they can't just keep with this style of game moving forward, they need to reinvent it with the next one.
I mean, we all thought Breath of the Wild was going to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't think this was going to be Breath of the Wild sandwiched in between Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So if they blew our minds this time, what makes you think they won't do it again?
You know, it's almost
especially if they do it on another console.
Another console,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hearing you say it out loud, I realized that this game is literal tiers of the kingdom. Like,
yeah.
It's a tiered system of the overworld. So I know that the sky is falling, you know, but there's also that.
And the other thing too is like, okay, I like the fact that they release other Legend of Zelda games. For example, in between these two games, you have Hyrule Cadence, you have Hyrule Warriors, you have Link's Awakening, right? They re-released Skyward Sword. So, and these are all different
That's right,
styles.
I haven't even cracked
These are
that.
all different styles of video games. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
And you can enjoy all of them.
Yeah, there's no genre.
There is no genre. Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed Link's Awakening, the remake. I thought it was adorable. I loved it. I'd never played Link's Awakening. Was it Link's Awakening?
Yeah, Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had played it, but I loved it. I loved it, and I thought it was so much fun, and it was a good break in between.
Yeah, and it was a nice 10-hour breezy, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Yeah, in between Breath of the Wild. Like, if you're gonna keep on doing that, like, yes, you have your main games, but you're gonna give me other stuff on the side that I'm going to enjoy. That's great. Keep on doing that for me.
There was a Zelda game. Oh, Hyrule Warriors. You mentioned Hyrule Warriors, and I know not everybody's a fan of that warrior game type, I guess. I really liked Dynasty Warriors back in the day, but I played Hyrule Warriors. It's a great co-op game, especially. So I played it with my wife. We started it on the Wii U, but it was too schloggy, especially with co-op, like with 2 players. The frame rate was horrific. So as much as we were enjoying it, we only got about a third in or so. They re-released it for the Nintendo Switch. It was better, but it still had some performance issues. So I've never finished it. I kind of want to, but I got Age of Calamity really like on deep discount. So I was like, let me just get it because I do like these games, and hopefully, I'm not sure what the performance is because I haven't even started. But this is making me want to up that in my backlog, like skip a bunch, and once I'm done with this game, because I want to know that history. Because I think Age of Calamity goes up before Breath of the Wild, and it's now I'm drawn into.
I've heard it's good.
I've heard it's good too, and now I'm drawn into this world, even though I'm already all into this Zelda mythos. This is its own mythos in a mythos.
Yeah.
They've created its own universe within a universe, and I want to know the full story because I am drawn in by this. We talked about lore a little bit, and as soon as this game started with those first opening moments when you kind of get nerfed and when we see what the main antagonist, and I don't know where it's going because again, even though we're 25 hours in,
we
haven't even cracked the surface of where we're going with this game. I already immediately felt like, let me take the Hyrule Historian, let me just like throw it away because
because you need a new one.
Yeah, I don't know where does this game lie? What are we doing? Are we doing multiple timelines? Is this the Ganon from another game? Is it where who's the what's it now? You know? And I am enthralled. I am here for that ride. And I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Dan. And that they're moving forward with this series because this is what Zelda should be. And like you said, we have a ton of other side stuff to do as well. But I'm excited for the future of Zelda. With that in mind, we have Zelda's Legacy. So we're going forward, right? We're living a new world. Like you said, everybody's talking about Zelda. People that haven't played it before. People are getting Switches so that they can play this game. Where do you see Zelda on the wider cultural zeitgeist?
I think because of this, for sure, we get that Zelda movie.
Right?
Especially after
absolutely.
the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie. This only cements that. Like, all right, this is going to happen. When is it going to happen? Who's going to make it? So,
yeah. Especially because I think Breath of the Wild and this game, Tears of the Kingdom, exposed us to the possibility of there being like voice dialogue and full animation. Like,
Yeah.
it really took it to another
Mhm.
level. And it's always cute how the Zelda tropes of the just written dialogue and the fading to black and coming back, those kind of shortcuts they used to take, they're still present, even though you don't need to do them from a technological standpoint. So it still feels like Zelda. So choke on that, people who say that this isn't a Zelda game. But the fact that they're not afraid to have the character speak and have like action sequences that are fully animated and things like that.
Yeah.
What would you like a Zelda movie or maybe TV show even? What would it be like?
No, not a TV show.
You don't think an animated series like something like Netflix? I know Netflix was
No,
once a big bidder.
Don't.
Okay,
I don't want Netflix.
I don't want Netflix
because-
touching anything.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but
That
I
I
mean,
love.
when they had it, there was a
An
possibility.
animated series though, I can get behind.
Okay,
Like,
I want it to be like an anime. No,
Yeah.
I think if you get like an anime,
I've always wanted that, but now more than ever.
Yeah, I think that's better. Than,
Nice little cutesy art style, like Ghibli style
Mhm.
Legend of Zelda show. I'm sold.
Yeah, well, the parallels are there. I think immediately me and Link thought that me and Link, the host of the show, thought that Link in the game, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, was giving us Ashitaka vibes from Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's with the tattoos, especially the tattoos like the corruption.
Yeah, the little worms. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah, I think it's just the corruption in Princess Mononoke, but an anime I think would be that would be epic. Hopefully we
Yeah.
get something.
If we can
And
get-
we're getting a new Pokemon anime by a good studio. I can't remember who, but
it's in already.
I
Isn't
think
it
it's
already done?
possible.
Isn't it? Already?
Because it's the Arceus one. I don't know who's doing that.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, Legends of Arceus is getting its own anime.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's the one you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, and that one's supposed to be a bit more serious, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's based on
So it's
Legends
like-
of Arceus.
If that goes well, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
You know.
They've done it before in the past. Why not do it now with better studios and better writers? And
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm excited for whatever the future is for Legend of Zelda. Now that they're also making the Mario World in Universal Studios.
Oh,
Maybe they can
True.
include a Hyrule cast, a part of Hyrule in that.
Yeah. There's been
Ugh.
rumors about the Lost Continent. I don't know that they're going to pan out because they've changed their plans for Nintendo so many times. But they've got Epic Universe, a brand new park. They got that open space in Islands of Adventure. I think a Hyrule Castle would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Instead of the one in Disney, you put Zelda's castle.
That's right.
That
Oh.
would be so
Right?
cool.
And then
Well-
you have someone dressed as Zelda taking pictures.
Disney has Cinderella's castle.
All the cast members are elves.
Elves, yeah.
With the
Disney has a Cinderella's castle in Orlando. It has Snow White's castle in California. But
Oh, it does?
Yeah. But we could have Princess Peach and Princess Zelda's castles.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I love Snow White and Cinderella, but that's
I'd rather this.
that's greater than, less than. Any personal thoughts that you want to share? I know that you had here when we were planning. Where do you rank in the Legend of Zelda franchise? But I think that seems like an obvious.
Yeah. To me,
Sure.
this is like the best game in the Legend of Zelda franchise.
I'm weary of saying that because I'm not done with it, but I can see how it will clearly it will clearly be better than Breath of the Wild, which I think is the best game in the Zelda franchise.
Yeah.
It was my dream. Breath of the Wild was a dream for me because I've always loved Zelda. It's been one of my favorite franchises, but open world is my favorite type of game.
Yeah.
So having open world, in Zelda and in a sense Mario, it's a little more structured, but games like Galaxy and Odyssey kind of let you go in your own, way, and it's 3D roaming. You can do the missions in whatever order you want.
Yeah.
That has been a game changer this generation. Again, Galaxy started that, but this on Odyssey on the Switch is a lot more of like you could just do the missions whenever you want, wherever. And I think that's I think it might be the future of not just Zelda, but of gaming in general. Because
I mean, for me, I just love it as a fantasy game.
Yeah.
Like, it's when you really like, it is a fantasy game with the Legend of Zelda story.
Yeah.
Like I'm running around finding, so it's Skyrim, but Legend of Zelda.
Elden
Yeah.
Rings, yeah.
But with
Elden
a
Ring,
beautiful art style, simplified. It's everything. I want to fight a dragon with a sword. I think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
yeah.
But a game has never put it as beautifully and as simply as this. It's such a clean game.
Beautiful.
Enough talking about Tears of the Kingdom. I think we should ask our audience, listeners, viewers, if you haven't gone on that journey to Hyrule, take that first step. As for us, I'm gonna go do it right now.
Yeah.
Hold up, wait.
I'm waiting. I finally brought my Switch, so I'm gonna use your amiibos.
Okay, nice. All right, so I'll take them down. I made a mistake and I put all the Zelda amiibos all the way on the top, so I'm gonna go grab them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that shelf down.
Danny has his.
Yeah.
Do you have
Oh
an-
wait, here's a fun fact. If
Yeah.
you scan your Animal Crossing amiibos, you get meat.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not a
Yeah.
fun fact. That's horrific.
I think that's a great fact.
We
Is
were
it,
ending
though?
on such a positive note, and now it's morbid.
Now we're killing Tom Nook.
Oh, really quick before we go, my one complaint: Wolf Link isn't in this game. That's something I miss from Breath of the Wild, and I know I'm one of the few people that played the game, but I literally had Wolf Link with me every step of the way.
You're one of
So-
the few people that played Breath of the Wild.
No, with Wolf Link.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of nobody's played
What a
that game.
hipster.
I'm one of the few people who use that amiibo daily, and when he died, I would get sad because you couldn't respawn him till the next day. All right. So, without further ado, for me, for you, for he was playing it during the episode,
Yeah.
Yeah. That
And
was
for-
commentary.
and for everybody at home, go play Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Unless, of course, you haven't played Breath of the Wild, then go play that.
I should go to Tears of the Kingdom.
That's bad advice.
No, play Breath of
I
the
That's
should
Wild.
bad
go.
advice.
Should go. Watch
do it.
watch
Don't listen to
videos
Link.
on YouTube.
No,
get you
don't do
the,
that.
the
Don't.
context
Don't
and
do
go
that.
play.
Don't go play
You
Breath of the
have
Wild.
you have to get a whole. You have to get a handle of Breath of the Wild.
No.
Yeah.
Man up. Just do it.
Don't do it. Don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
All right. Till next time, keep searching.